you're feeling like you're in a fishbowl, but I am. I've never done this before. I've taught before, but not with an audience like this. So we'll see how we go. I'll play a little bit with this. I designed something called ALARM, a learning and responding matrix. Basically, it's a tool to help teachers teach kids how to learn. Not what to learn only, because we get enough of what to learn, but actually how to learn. Okay? And I'm going to and it's through a series of asking questions, basically, at different levels, if you like. And we'll begin easy, and maybe get a little bit harder. This poem is one of my favorites. It was on the HSC before. It's been used for, I think you studied a little bit about journeys, did you? Which was a past HSC question. So some of my questions are, I'm trying to get you as if you're in year 12. I'm going to treat you as if you're in year 12. Is that okay? Okay. And if you have questions, want to argue, disagree, have an idea, tell me about it, okay? I like a few arguments and discussions, what you think. When we go through this, I'm not actually going to be teaching the poem per se. I'm sort of helping the teachers see what I'm doing, okay? So we're kind of revising the poem. It's sort of in revision and trying to get you along. You might want to take notes. So if you have papers or books you want to use, or any of your notes that you already have, you can get those out. Do you have notes on this poem at all? So you can take those out. Okay. You can write on these papers. There's some notes for you, and follow it. On the board, I'm going to be putting out what I call a template, along with questions. Okay. Now, if I ask a question, don't worry if you can't answer it. Okay, because I ask teachers all over the state these questions. Sometimes teachers don't know these answers. Okay, but if you learn them, maybe it'll help you learn a little bit higher order, if that makes sense. Any questions so far? Okay. In English, we learn from stories. Okay, and out here, what they have is the New South Wales Department of Education syllabus, and we have to teach you something according to that syllabus. All right? And in English, we're trying to learn from a story. Yeah? And we're trying to learn at the level of what we call, in this case, a concept. The big idea, the big picture of something, as big as you can go. Yeah? And so we're trying to learn about that, but we learn it through a story. So, my question is this: how do I learn from a story? Hello? Anybody know? Don't worry, the teachers didn't answer it yesterday. Okay. Because the first thing I have to do, so if you want to take notes on this, you can turn that paper sideways, is I want to talk about the significant events that happen in the story. And you've done the road not taken, yeah? You've read it? And so there's a little story going on here. And I have to choose the right things that happen in the story to talk about. So I want to choose according to a story. So in every story that you're going to read from year 10, 11, 12, this is going to help you. Okay, every story you've ever heard since you were little kids, in every story, there is a problem. Okay? You know, Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. Who cares? Until a spider sat down beside her. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, rocking away. Who cares? Until he had a great fall. Then they had to put him back together again or make scrambled eggs. I don't know. Okay? Jack and Jill went up the hill. You know what happened to them. Okay? What do you think? Oh yeah, Mary had a little lamb. But what was the problem? It followed her to school one day. She broke the rules. What's it like breaking a rule in school? Yeah? So every story that we read, there's some kind of problem. Going a little bit higher level. The problem is either in the person, in the character, or it's between them and something outside in their world. We want to know, where is the problem? By the way, is there anybody in this class that doesn't have a problem? Anybody? Any teachers not have a problem in your lives? You see, we want to know how somebody else solved the problem. Well, why do I want to know how somebody else solves the problem? Why do I want to do that? Why do I want that understanding? Why do I want to learn that better? Bingo. Why do you learn? I've asked classes this. I say, why are you learning? And they go, like this. Why do you learn? And they go, oh, if I learn from them, maybe I won't make the same mistake. So you are correct. All I'm trying to do, you see, I sound like a 2-year-old. Why? But I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper. I get to usually 5 whys. I'll probably get to 5 whys when I get out to here on the board. Okay, so there's a problem, inner or outer. And a structure of a story usually begins with, where does the problem happen? But if you have a problem, I don't know about you, but every time I go to try to solve a problem, something makes it complicated. So there are complications, depending on how many there are, until finally there is a resolution. Or someone is not. It's a non-resolution. Someone is not able to solve their problem. Yeah? When you were little kids, probably in elementary and primary schools, all your stories are nicely solved. Yeah? But as you get a little bit older, they start giving you these stories where people cannot solve their problem. You're going to see a lot of that. Once you solve a problem, and I didn't mention this yesterday to the teachers, once you solve a problem, and it's so hard to get year 12 to get to this point, okay? So I'm teaching you at year 12. Is that okay? There is some kind of impact on you. Something happens to you when you solve a problem. Okay? So I've just now gone through a process of learning from a story. Okay, and now we're going to look at a story and see, what on earth can I learn from this? What can I apply to my life? Yeah. Why is it important to learn about this from someone? I'll just read the poem. You probably have you read it all before? Okay. So the road not taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I marked the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I tried to read it with a little drama. Okay? That's how you learn from a story. But one of the dot points you guys have to pass, let's say, in year 12, is how do I learn from the storytelling? Someone tries to tell you a story. Have you ever tried to tell a story and it doesn't work? Or someone tells you a joke and someone takes it wrong? When I have an event, Okay, I usually have to know what's happening. That's just story. In us, we need a quote and a language technique. Okay? By the way, when you're getting marked and graded, we're now moving up the line on the number of points you can score. If you're interested in getting marks, good grades. If you're interested in that, I'm showing you exactly how you get better grades. You have to have language techniques. So what is a language technique? What is a language technique doing? Okay? Yep. Wonderful. Okay, it's giving us a meaning. It's showing us something. So in other words, it positions us. I'll have to write small because this is a small board. It puts us in a position, somehow or other. Like the camera angle in a movie. Camera angles are all the time, they're kind of manipulating us, getting us to be in a position. How is a technique created? What does it do? So for instance, as I showed this, just say, is that a door? Okay, go ahead. Okay. Sorry, didn't you make hard? Good. A little harder. Is that door closed? Well, good. See, you get better. Is that door open? Is that a window? You think I'm nuts? You don't have to answer that. Okay. That over there is the door, yeah? Have you ever spoken to anybody in your lives whose mind is a closed door? You don't have to tell me who. Okay. Yeah, you do. It's hard to find the key to unlock the door to their brain. Okay, is there really a door in their head? No. Okay. So we call it a metaphor. For means shape, meta means change. Change shape. When I say it's a metaphor and their mind is a closed door, what happened to the door? It's a figment of your imagination, isn't it? It's just a representation. So, I'm trying to measure. The representation just represents something. The problem in this story, okay, may be the problem of the composer, the person who wrote it. It might be the problem of the character. But when it becomes a representation, the problem might be yours. He's sharing this at a universal human level. The character in the story is really a representation of our humanity. Something that makes us all the same. All of us have different stories, but some things about us are really quite the same. Okay? And we're going to find out about going on this concept about going on journeys. Okay, because that can be a common thing. But I want to know, how do I get meaning? I mean, meaning sits out over here. And there are levels of meaning. I have to learn something. How do I learn meaning from a language technique? And that's one of the dot points from 7 to 10, and it'll be another dot point from 11 and 12. How do I learn from a technique? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Let's just say I say these same words the same, a little differently, because I'm going to use different techniques. Okay? Let's just say I say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Don't do that. What? You took me wrong. You derived meaning. I didn't mean it that way. You see what I mean? What did you get meaning out of that? Each one meant something different. Why?
It's like the tone of it.
So we move up the line of getting a better mark. There is an effect. I'm trying to create an effect, a mood. I won't write up there because I won't have room. A mood, tone, feeling, atmosphere. Okay? That mood tone right between us, because there's an atmosphere in this room. Yeah? Is it friendly? Yeah? Is it unfriendly? Is it scary? Is it anxiety here? What's the feeling? Okay? And that feeling is either a positive or a negative. And all I did was change my voice a little bit. Yeah? Just with the intonation of the technique. There's a poem I like also by Robert Frost, and it reads like this. To feel his mood tone. I'll read it dramatically. It says, whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stop being here to watch his woods fill up with snow. He changed the vowels. And some people say, did he do it on purpose? I don't know. But he changed the vowels because he's sitting on a horse. Or he's in a house and buggy. Dun, 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 dun. And you're feeling, he's not going, whose woods these are? I know. His house in the village. You know, if you want to read it like that, that's fine. The music you listen to, okay, has a certain technique. Different types of music have different techniques, but they're creating a different tone. I don't know, have you ever heard of someone called Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I went to a place called the Hollywood Bowl to watch this black guy perform on the guitar. I'd never heard of him really before. I was there to watch the Mamas and Papas. Peace, love, and everything, and I thought, cool, he looked all nice and relaxing. And this guy walks out, black guy, and he walks down and goes, bang, like that. We go, oh my God. With that note, you felt his anger. He was mad. He was mad at something. What the hell are you mad about? You just didn't know. And he just kept going on, bang, bang, bang. And he started lighting his guitar and breaking it, and he throws it out at us and goes, man, this guy rocks. Who is this guy? What's he so, it's being filmed, I can't use my proper language here. Upset about. Yeah? And we knew he's got a problem inside. We also knew he's got a problem with his world. Okay, this is how we communicate. Yeah? When you have a problem, how do I know you have a problem? So when you read a story or when you write a story, try to look for where is the problem. You can feel it. Like when you guys came in the room. My year 12s, and there's a test on, they go, I know how they're feeling, okay? So, what's the purpose of creating this feeling? Why do you want to feel somebody else's problem and agony? Why do you do this? You know, you're on Twitter on your thing, and you listen to all these people, I hate this, I don't like that. Why are we doing that? Now, how do I learn how? Boy, this is a good question. I haven't asked this before. How do I learn how to understand something? I haven't asked that question before. I don't know if I know the answer. Do you know the word empathy?
Yeah.
I feel what they are feeling. When you guys came in the room, I knew what you felt like because I was feeling the same. Okay? I never felt what Jimi Hendrix felt. That anger, the prejudice and the hatred he felt, anger about the prejudice of the world that he had been living under. I understood the Mamas and Papas, which is all about love and peace, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know that one. So I'm creating empathy. And the master writers, the master artists, are those the songs you listen to. If you can feel what they're talking about, and they're communicating to you because you can feel what someone is going through. And when there is this plus minus, I'm going to probably put these together. I want to know the impact on the relationship. You know, have you ever been late to class? And the teacher says, "Oh, why are you late?" Or, "Oh, why are you late?" Or, "Why are you late?" Does that impact on your relationship with someone? Or let's say you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and say, "What were you doing last night?" "What were you doing last night?" "What were you doing last night?" You see, I'm impacting on our relationship. Yeah? And I want to know what that relationship is. Now here's where it gets a little bit harder. Okay? This is what I have to get to year 12. The relationship can be impacting on how I feel about myself. Because some people don't like themselves much. I don't think Jimi Hendrix, I don't know if he liked himself much. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. He didn't live for him. Or I can feel how the relationship is between them and their world. Does that make sense? Can you follow that? Again, so this inner and outer flows all the time. Until finally, we try to interpret meaning. Theme. Now by theme, people will argue about this. By theme, I just want to know, what is that telling us about all human beings? As best as you can. Okay? What do you learn about the human condition? Like from Hendrix, I found out, what does prejudice teach us? Prejudice teaches us hatred, causes anger. Just from that one note. Well, of course, burning a guitar and playing it all kinds of ways, like it was a funny part of his body. And when he threw it out, we felt it. And I interpreted meaning. Yeah? But we have to kind of come up to the next level. And this is probably what's going to separate a lot of people. Because now I want to link to concept. What are we learning about this? Now in year 12 we're studying it's called belonging. Yeah, have you heard that at all? Maybe? In year 12 we're doing belonging. They're teaching you this now in year 10 to get you ready for year 12. I don't know what they're going to do in year 11. Okay, in year 11 we do change. I do challenge with one of my classes. It's just that big idea. What's the big idea about journey? So what you learn from this story, I link it to the concept. My first question was, why learn? Is this one. Which is linked to life. Which is really what you're probably mostly interested in the first place. Yeah? And if I were teaching this right from the beginning, we'd probably talk about journeys, and I'd go in and why you should learn about it in your life and so forth. I don't mind telling little stories if you don't mind. The first question I ever got was, I was teaching in, I don't know if you could tell, but I come from the United States. And I was teaching in San Diego Ghetto. My first day of teaching ever, I walked up the door, and the teacher, I was a student teacher, 23 years old, he goes, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" A kid has just been shot in the school. "What?" He goes, "Yeah, he's selling drugs on somebody else's turf." I said, "Wow." I went into the room, these kids, 42 of them, it was tough. And the first question I got by this kid, he says, "Why I gots to learn this?" Technique. He definitely had a tone, yeah, an attitude, yeah, and I interpreted that to mean he didn't really want to learn about history, But it was a beautiful question. Do you ever ask that? Why do I have to, did you ask why I have to come here today?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet. That's the best question. Why am I here? Why should I be doing this? Okay? But link it to life. That's really important. That's for you. But eventually, sorry about this, some wise guy, like a teacher, is going to ask you a question. Let's just call it an essay question. And you have to link your learning to the question. Yeah? That's called the HSC. So right now, you know eventually you're going to have to do a test. Anybody in here not like to do tests? Anybody here like to do tests? So you got an outside world problem, the test. But I don't know about you, but when I used to take tests, I used to almost blank out. I was so nervous and anxious about it. And now I got two problems. I got an inside problem with myself, yeah, and I got the test outside. Right, but I'm creating my own problem on the inside. So how do I solve it? Okay, so this is, in English, this is alarm. Okay? If you want to know how grades work, roughly speaking, that's roughly speaking the A range. Okay? 90 to 100. Band, they call it 6. Roughly speaking. If you can do all the rest. Yeah? If you can do in here, we're talking about 5s and 4s. If you can't tell techniques, you're down into band 3, 60 to 70%. If you're just going to tell me story, and I ask this big question, if I use color coding, I usually tell kids, if I ask this big question and all you can do is tell me story, I'm going to give you a brown mark. Now, why would I choose the color brown? Doesn't smell too good. But it's something that we can learn from, we can grow, so it's also good fertilizer. So we're going to look at the story and try to build up and show you how you learn, not just what do you learn.